Hey guys, Renault here. Welcome back to Banger Racing here on BeamNG Drive, using the Road Atlanta circuit going the other way around. And up front today, I'm remembering to make it orange this time. It's the Satsuma 1200 but with a 1.4 just to make it that little bit quicker in a straight line. And in second place, a car which has green paint but it looks more like mould honestly. It's a Grand Marshal 4.5 Beta with the 4.5 litre V8. And then at the back, because things aren't in order today, we have the 200BX Rocket Bunny V2 with a 4 litre V8. And in third place, the car that needs to win, the ARZ 200 police car version with the V6. And then in fourth place, a car which you can definitely never forget where you parked it, the new car for this round, the ETK S Series S6TX. Yeah, I've got a list next to me to remember all these names. So now I'm going to slow things down and put all the cars onto random. So the same rules as ever apply if you're new to this series. Fastest car at the back, slowest car at the front. 2 laps here on the Road Atlanta circuit. Any cars that get lapped or DNF will be out. If the car that needs to win doesn't, it will also be out. If all cars finish and the one that needs to win doesn't, then the car in last place gets a lifeline through into the next round. So everything here onto random. Everything's in a random order, so I think I got them all there onto random. And yes, I did. And we'll start on board here then with the third place car. There's a bit of a gap between the ARZ and the ETK because the back two cars are so much quicker. So I've done it so they try and meet just at the first braking zone at the end of this straight. And also because I'm using this circuit the other way around. If anything gets taken out by the walls or the tyre barriers on this first lap on this straight, it will be reset. But if anything happens after this lap or on the second lap, then that's just bad luck and it will be out. Because using the circuit the wrong way, all the walls stick out the opposite way. Everything obviously is designed to go in the correct way around this track. Of course, this being a game, we can do whatever we like around the circuit. Now these three cars here, they have the breakaway for now, but the back to the ETK and the 200BX will be catching up very quickly. And you can already see them there in the background because the very vibrant cars are coming now. Now these two cars, the ETK and the 200BX, are fairly similar straight line speed. The 200BX has a bit better acceleration, but the ETK gets a bit better through the gears. And then there's a bit of push and shove going on now. And again on board here with the Satsuma, yes I can, in the correct Satsuma colour as well for this round. And again he's getting a big shove round into the braking zone, he's going to get pit around now, just manages to hold himself on the line. Although it's getting very witty low into the corner. It's going way too quick. Let's go straight on. It's not even going to make the corner, is it? Going to go full lock now. It's going to go. There's a wall coming up pretty soon, though. I think that's going to be it for the Satsuma. Hard. Oh, that's a hard crunch. That's it done. There's no way it can survive that. Especially with the wheel bent like that as well. So that's one car down for the next round. So maybe looking at a new first place car. As things stand, you never know. It might actually still work. But I really heavily doubt it. So now then it's the Grand Marshal with its door that's already fallen off. Leads the way, got a little bit of that weight reduction, bro. Now then, here come the two fastest cars now. Now catching up again. I didn't want to catch them too quickly because I did a test run with having them closer, and they just ploughed through the front three cars immediately, so they've got time to catch up. They've had to use this time to catch up, but they're so much quicker that they shouldn't really have too much of an issue getting through the slower cars on paper. And yeah, the Satsuma really isn't moving. The Satsuma's done. Well, it survived last time on a technicality of getting reset before the first corner, so we got lucky there, but yeah. The expected result has happened this time around with the Satsuma. Now then the Grand Marshal's out getting sent round. It's lost its rear wheel drive, so it is going to be have all the weight on the rear, and you can't really control it. And while it gets hit where the door used to be, it's going to go for a hit on the ETK as well. Let's get things slowed down. And is just going to do a few spins now. It's down into fourth place, but if it just survives, it will be into the next round because we've already got the Satsuma out. I don't see why it shouldn't get going again from that. And luckily, though, for the ARZ, the wheel survived. This thing being front wheel drive, if one of the front wheels gets broken, that's the car done. Because rear wheel drive cars sometimes can work on one wheel, the front wheel drive cars, for whatever reason, they just can't. Now then, can the Grand Marshal get going again the correct way? Yes, it can. And it's got minimal damage. This thing is very bulky anyway, so it should have no issue surviving as long as it can stay on the road. There's a bit of smoke there coming out. Oh, that's just the exhaust of the ETK. I thought something was smoking there pretty heavily. But it is the exhaust. I don't know if it's meant to be doing it to that extent to what it is. Again, I guess the engines aren't warmed up yet anyway, so there'll be a bit more smoke coming out of them at the minute anyway. Now the ETK though gets a bit of a slow. So he's controlling that now because the ETK, it doesn't need to win. Neither of these two cars need to win. Of course they're going to want to. It's the first time the ETK is building around, so it's just going to try to start feeling out of the competition. As the front bumper of the 200BX is getting a bit floppy, but it manages to ping itself back out from underneath the car. The ETK, I think it's also four-wheel drive as well. But the weakness with this thing is the front wheels. Like, the slightest tap on the wheels will break them. For some reason then the car just really doesn't want to do anything under AI control, although the 200BX is now eating its front bumper, so I'm going to have to try and get that removed if it ends up causing an issue into the corner. Looks like it's gone straight under the car though, so it might be okay. The front wheels still look to be on the ground. Actually, one of them does. One of the wheels is actually off the ground, so I'm going to have to remove the bumper. Let's see how things go into the braking zone here though. The other thing goes a lot quicker this way around as well. Remember last time? It destroyed itself over the curbs with the front bumper being stuck under the wheel, so I am going to have to try and remove it now whilst I can. Get a hold of it, pull it out to the side. Okay, well, I'll pull it out a little bit. Now can I get a hold of it over this side? I don't want to yank the radiator or try and hit anything out from under the engine. That should be the bumper dealt with now. Yeah, it's gone. Never to be seen again. It's helicoptering away. It could bounce back onto the track though in the way of the leader. That's never happened before. It's happened now, though not quite. That was close though to a bumper becoming an issue once again. Now I'm bored now then with the car that needs to win, which is still the radiator, which is holding the pressure very well from the cars behind, which are giving it a massive push. Instead, these two cars behind are so much quicker. Now they've only got a lap to try and move the ARZ out of the way if they actually want to go for the win. Like I said, they could just sit there in second and third. They don't need to win, but of course they're going to want to. And anything is just surviving into the next round, which all cars in this race are going to do at the minute. So like I say, everything is all as it stands, because this Satsuma, it went further than he did on its first run last time, but that was probably to its own detriment because they didn't get reset and have a lucky escape into the next round. As the Grand Marshal is boating its way along. It's falling behind now, although the car that needs to win has been sent round. And but now then with the ARZ, is it going to make contact on its way back onto the track? Not quite. So it looks like we're going to have a new car that wins this round. This is still not over yet though. The ARZ is going to need a quick recovery. If it have any chance of getting back though, he's going to back himself into the wall. Yes it is, it can't get itself stopped, but it didn't take out anything important there. The front wheels, they still work. It's still got drive. It can still continue in this race. But we know we've got a new leader. The ETK S-Series with a really floppy front bumper as well, it seems. So it's got the front flapping bumper crew of the two cars leading the way. As I said, these things are so much quicker, though they can have a lap disadvantage in effect of not being able to catch up to the cars. But it didn't matter. Has it got going again now? It could be under threat from the Grand Marshal, depending if it's took any damage that we can't see. Everything looks to be okay though, although the brakes are smoking quite a bit though on the ETK, so that's an issue. Brakes do tend to cut quicker this way around, I've found out last time, because everything's going at a quicker pace, so the brakes are getting used more. And coming into the S section, that's usually the heavy braking zone that catches things out if they don't go off up here. It's got to survive one of the massive braking zone yet if it wants to secure the win, but it's just going to keep itself in the race. That's all it needs to do. It can take the L here if it comes to it, because it won't really matter. But then in the next round, if it gets through, it just needs to do what it can to try and hold up the 200BX. And again, the 200BX knows it can't keep itself on the track through the S section, and that will be a little bit of the psychological advantage there for it next time. Put it in the words of the YouTuber F1 Championship from like 5 or 6 years ago. Now then, here we go then. Got the 200BX around the back, so it's made its intentions known. It wants to go for the win. Now then, can the ETK get itself stopped into the corner? We've seen its brakes smoking heavily. But has it got enough to try and get itself started? Running out wide, it's lost the rear. Can it hold it through? It's going to go for a big drift. Going to go for a really big drift. It loses the rear though, but it manages to catch it, so it actually managed to carry more speed through the corner than what the 200BX did, taking it a little bit cautious. And it didn't work out for it. At that time. They still kept themselves on the road, but the ETK now has a little bit of a gap as well. Another thing, when the brakes start to go, cars can, as we've just seen, unintentionally go quicker through a corner than what it was probably intending to. And nothing here is smoking. Do the front lights still work? they now point in the wrong way, but they do actually still work. Although the motors I think may now be upside down, given that the lights go further in when you try and pop them up. And the ARZ, that's going to be out as well, so we're going to have 2 new cars in the next round as things stand. A new 3rd place car and a new 1st placed car. And they can both go for the corner cuts pretty simply. That doesn't seem to be an issue. They've got a little bit of no texture there on the road as well, so the no texture really is starting to take over here at Road Atlanta. You even got the same colour interior here, but it's not no texture though on the ETK at least. You can now get a look at those cinematic camera angles. Because the damage wise it seems pretty okay. There you go, a little bit more smoke there coming out from the brakes. It makes its way now through the left-hander as he is in the track. This corner, this was the issue corner if you go the normal way around. This seems to be where all the cars mainly spin out around this corner for some reason. And even when I test the cars as well, there's something about that corner that even I have issues around, so it's just something about the track around that corner. The Grand Marshal just taking it nice and chill here through the SS sector, because it's going to know that it's through, it just needs to get to the end, because it's not going to know what's gone up in front. The ARZ just accepting its fate really. There's nothing really can his one, because the cars, I mean, there is obviously a noticeable gap between them. If you put one fastest car in front of the other, you'll notice it pull away. But when the slower one's in front, there really isn't that much between, so the gaps do tend to stay pretty close. Obviously until the car gets past, then you really do notice it pull away, even just around 2 laps of this track. From bumper though, it looks like it's actually going to survive. It could get taken out by the curbs, but it's not really. Well, it hangs down under braking, so it might get a little bit more damage over the curb. But I don't think that's going to matter. Unless it gets stuck under the car, though, oh, flapping like that, that could have got it stuck. If that thing launches itself under its own bumper in around the final few corners, I imagine that's going to be. That'll be a first actually. I've had a car flip itself over its own front bumper on the last lap of the race. So I think actually at all. It's hit someone else's, but as a result of it just falling off. I don't think that's ever happened. Now then, coming up now to the line, it's the ETK. Doing 79 over the line that takes the win. Let's put that now then onto stopping. And let's get on board then with the 200BX as well. Coming up right behind it. Didn't quite have enough pace there at the end. Seems the dying brakes were actually helpful for once to the ETK. And there isn't going to be any in-race contact between the two of them. There was quite a speed difference, and there is going to be a little bit of contact here at the end. The 200BX isn't happy about something. Just a bit of frustration there that they couldn't get the win. Let's get the sight. Well, the lights on. Not putting the sirens on, because just get a little bit annoying. The police car, the ARZ, it did what it could, to be fair. Even got little police lights there on the back as well. Maybe the cars would have stopped if I put the lights on earlier. But over the line, in P3, 69 miles an hour. So he's got a nice speed to end on. Also with the risk factor being 0.69, I think everything was either 0.69 or 0.68, so everything was definitely very even in this round. And that stops way short of the front two, just showing the pace difference that those two cars had. Now where's the Grand Marshal at? Pretty close to finishing, so let's watch this over the line as well. In the cinematic camera angle, really just blend in with the grass. Actually, green is literally just a grass car. Maybe it's advertising to be parked outside a garden centre for the next 20 years. Or parked in the Florida swamp somewhere for the next 20 years. That's probably actually where it came from, actually. It's going to make it, though, over the line in 4th place, but it doesn't matter. It's actually doing mile an hour quicker than the ARZ, so I think the ARZ definitely was carrying a bit of damage out at the end. Now, is there going to be any end-race contact here between these two? There might be a little bit of a tap. Is there going to be anything that actually stopped short, so playing it cool, even though he did get taken out earlier on? So then, the car that needs to win from now on is going to be the ETK S Series. And there's going to be a new 1st and 3rd place car in the next round. Remember to leave a like if you enjoyed this episode of Banger Racing. Leave a comment down below. Subscribe if you're new, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. If you give me a follow on Twitter and Instagram, that'd be much appreciated. The link in the description down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.